Hey, this is Travis at Three Corners Farm. Today I'm going to put up my Bootstrap Farmer bender to bend my 20-foot wide hoop house I'm going to be putting in our other lot. I'm just going to show you the parts I got with the bender. Alright, so when you order from the Bootstrap Farmer website, this is what the bender looks like. It's basically two pieces of tubing bolted together with a little bracket in the back for some support, and then a little saddle there so that you can actually have a hook to bend with. And they supply a cheater bar that slides in to get the last couple bends. And they give you a couple little bolts. They're probably like 1/4 inch by 3 inches. But since I'm mounting mine on a board that I'm going to pull off, I want to use some lags that are 1/4 inch by 4 inch. And you can see on the top of this post I mounted a 2x6. I just had one laying around for a project I need later, but this just bend my hoop, so it's not permanent. And I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted and get started. Alright, before I get started bending, you have to go on the end that's been tapered, and you measure 9 inches, and that's where you slide to that little bracket. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so when I'm talking about this is the swag then, and you measure from here, and I have it marked 9 inches, and that is what you put against that little bracket on top of the bender. And it doesn't tell you if you can go in the front or the back, just do it the same every time so that when you're bending, your starting point's always the same. And this is the first time using this bender, so let's see how it works. So when you're bending, make sure you hold tight and don't let it twist as you're bending, because as I get going, it wants to flare a little bit. And you want to try to keep it straight up and down. If not, your archer's gonna have a little bend to them. And this is DIY. I'm not expecting to be perfect. It'll probably take me building a few of these to get it down real quickly. It doesn't help that my actual cheater bar fell on the ground and I couldn't let go because it was going to twist. So I had to fight to get it on my foot so I can lift it up. But I'll do the last two and we'll see how it works. Alright, I'm going to take you over and show you how three of these bins look. You can tell my first two bins, one got a little crooked, and then I got a little better at keeping it straight up and down. I just got to work on getting the arc the same, but again, this is one of the things that takes practice. This is the first time I've ever used this style of bender, and it's all by hand and guesswork. They just kind of give you a rough estimate of about 18 inches per piece, but as long as you're always doing it the same, you'll get the same type of bend. And here, let me show you what it looks like. So I have this end, that's the beginning bend, and you can see that the top one is slightly lifted up. That was the first one I bent. The other two seem to be a little more even. And as you go through, the first two I got the middle arc almost the same. The last one, the arc's a little flat. I might try to bend it out a little bit to get closer. But not too bad for the first time using a hand bender by myself. So I'll bend up some more, and hopefully in the next video we'll be starting to put some of these together and start building our hoop house. Alright, so that was all I wanted to show you today, was me assembling the bender and bending out my first few hoops. So those three segments will come together, and they should measure about 21 feet when I put the three together. And when I set my ground post, they'll be at 20 feet, so you'll get a little bit of a spring action when you put those together, and that'll actually make the structure a little stronger. So with this, I'm going to make a 40-foot long greenhouse. I have the plastic ordered. So the nice thing about ordering this kit from Bootstrap Farmer is on their website, they actually have a cut list of the estimated pricing for buying all the parts, all the tubing, wood, and what it would cost to build a hoop house. And you can go on their website and actually get that list. I pulled it off just to give me a rough estimate, but I am going to space mine out at 4 feet so I can get a little more snow load capabilities, because we get sometimes, we'll get a storm and get 3 or 4 inches in the springtime, and there'll be wet snow, and we get a lot of wind here in the Columbia Gorge. So I'm going to build mine a little closer together, use a little more material, but for the long run I'm looking for something that's going to last. And then if we ever have to move off that lot, I'll just pull out my post and move my greenhouse to another location. Alright, that's all there is to bending these hoops. You just have to go to Bootstrap Farmer, order the hoop bender for the size you need, and this one is only made to do 20-foot wide greenhouses. And we have to use an 1 3/8 top rail that you'd use for fencing, chain link fence, and it's 10 feet long. If you get the 20-foot long ones like they use for some of the big commercial jobs, you'll have to cut that. And I don't know how well the swag in will work since you'd only have one swagged in. But other than that, all the material list you can get from bootstrapfarmer.com. They have a whole build list that you can give you a rough idea per size, and then you can adjust for how long. That's all I have for the day. I'm going to get back to bending some more hoops,